Hi everybody, I'm Daphne Hughes, show producer for One Detroit. I was born and raised in Detroit, attended Detroit public schools, and graduated from the University of Detroit. Detroit has always been home for me, and it holds a special place in my heart. That's why our One Detroit story and the city's Neighborhood Natives photo project resonated so much with me. Photographer Cyrus Tedder captured beautiful images of people and places in my hometown. Take a look.
Where did the idea for the Neighborhood Natives project come from?
The editor of the site, Aaron Foley, he kind of came to each of us on the team. It's a 5-person team, and came to each of us and said, I want you guys to be able to grow, and build your brand. So Amber Lewis, she is the director of social media in the mayor's office. She was a part of that meeting. I just knew that I wanted to take photos of dope Detroiters, photographing high-profile people from Detroit back home where they're from, just to, I guess in a sense, bring them down to a real life level and let people know that there are superstars, living right next door to you, and we should feel proud of where we come from. The first person that we ended up shooting was Mary Wilson. We were at Crane's homecoming, I think it was 2017, and Mary was there, and Amber just had the idea to go in the back. She's like, I'm gonna try to get Mary for the photo shoot. 30 minutes or 40 minutes later, we're with Mary Wilson in the Brewster Projects. We stole her from Crane's homecoming. And we were in the Brewster Projects and we did a shoot. And she was already dressed up. She was dressed for the occasion. And me, Amber, and I scoped out the scene a little bit, kind of picked our spots where we wanted her to shoot. But we did the shoot. She even sang for us, and that was how we kicked off the series.
What was it and when was it that you got led into photography?
It wasn't until I got to college and went to University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, and there was just a plethora, overload of resources to use. Oh, you know what? I like that. Can you look down again? I started rapping in high school, but I started to do more of it in college, and then the rapping led to me designing and started a clothing line, and then I needed photos from my clothing line, so I started taking pictures. So that's how I picked up the camera. I'm gonna do it in one take. I like it.
What is the importance of you having the access and resources to start down one artistic path to discover another and so on and so forth that lands you here?
Yeah, access and resources are everything, especially youth and young people coming from Detroit, because, coming up, there's not always, everything is not at our fingertips. Growing up in Detroit, you don't feel like that, like the world is at your fingertips. Being able to have these resources and people in my family, like my aunt who gave me my first camera that she used to use, it just made me realize that if more youth had these resources even earlier than I did, I had them as a college freshman. If I had this starting off in high school, there's no telling, how far I would be. So these resources for young people are very important.
I'm One Detroit producer, Bill Kubota. I do a lot of stories around town and the metro area. One of the stories I really liked is about the Detroiters and their suburbs. If you're of a certain age, you were born in a city but grew up in Oakland, Macomb, Western Wayne County. It was the migration. Well, that's one way to put it. Back in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. This story I relate to, born in what's now called Midtown, growing up in Royal Oak, in many ways like the McCotter brothers, who gave us a tour of their hometown, Livonia on the west side. Things have changed downtown, but don't forget the suburbs too.
Yeah, that was a while. Yeah. So this is 7 Mile. Over here used to have Kmart. You can see that like all the other Kmarts. Here's the guy that's problems. He used to go up there all the time.
Everybody went there when we were kids to buy those parkas.
Yeah.
Those blue parkas with the fur.
Some of them moon boots.
And the moon boots. And the fur would always get in your mouth.
Snowmobile boots too, remember the ones?
Yep, with a little buckle on them.
Yep.
Had the blue light special.
Now here's Livonia Mall. Livonia in many ways, when it started, was a malled city. You had Livonia Mall over here, and this was anchored by Sears, now it's a Walmart anchor. You had the old Wonderland Mall south of us. Now you got Laurel Park.
I remember moving out to Livonia and Farmington being a dirt road.
I don't remember Farmington being a dirt road.
I do. I have different memories than you.
So we moved here in 1972. I was like 7, you were 6. Our parents were Detroit public school teachers. We were over by the old Renaissance High. And it was part of the emigration from the city at the time. So we'd come down 6 Mile, because there was no I-96. And so we would take this, and it took like forever.
It took forever.
It felt like it was taking forever.
It was just a straight shot, though.
Yeah, it's a straight shot.
I remember when we came out, Mom said, "We're moving to the country."
Yeah,
I was like, "Really?"
really? Okay. Now this is where we're going to show you where 2 icons of Livonia used to be and no longer are. See, now Livonia was incorporated because Detroit Race Course was here.
Oh, that's right.
Thoroughbred racing. They wanted to incorporate because they had a racetrack.
Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that. And
That's
that was
right.
a huge thing.
And then, yeah, they just kept, then it changed into Ladbroke. The Brits bought it. And now it's a shopping complex.
Yeah, it's a
Millennium Park. So we're heading down. You remember, it used to be called the Mai Kai Theater. It was one of those huge theaters that had a huge screen. And then they changed it into the George Burns Theater.
George Burns
and they brought
Theater.
George Burns in to open it up. I don't know how they managed to do that.
I remember Florence Henderson did a show there.
Yeah, it was going to be like what the Fox is now. They're going to turn it into a live entertainment venue. That's the George Burns Theater now. It's called condominiums.
There's Daly's.
I don't think. Yeah, you can still drive up,
They
man.
still have the drive. I just don't know when he comes on waits on it.
Now this is your complex. The district courts are off 5 Mile. And here's Livonia City Hall up here on your left.
But we used to ride our bikes through here when they were building it and skateboard. I don't remember what the one that was there before it looked like.
It looked a lot like that.
Okay.
City Hall Annex. It looked a lot like that. They left that part on there. We didn't know it at the time, but basically we were moving into downtown, quote unquote, Livonia, where a lot of the police, fire, the city municipal offices were.
Bates.
Yeah.
Bates has got to be the center of Livonia.
Because when we came, it was like the first rush. And we were at the tail end of it.
There was like 1,000 Little League teams.
Yeah, thousands of Little League teams. There's a few baby boomers, but a large part of it was really Gen X kids. Now this is the subdivision we grew up. We like to refer to it as Coventry Gardens or the subdivision behind Bates.
Yeah, that's how people know it.
Once the Generation X kids started growing up, it went from having too little school capacity to having too much. And so Lincoln Elementary School.
That was where our school. That was one of the first schools to go down. That was my safety post.
Yeah,
right
safety
there.
post.
Yeah.
This is Lincoln Elementary School.
Yeah.
Not
that
anymore.
that was Mr. Gosman's class, that house right there.
Yeah, he's in Arizona now.
Home plate was right around that tree, and we played baseball that
And
way.
the school was all over here. You could hit it. And I remember the guy threatened to break our kneecaps. We hit the ball.
Yeah, we were little kids, and he said he looked like
Well, it was
Burger
a great
King.
life lesson.
He looked like Burger King, and he was Burger King.
We called him Burger King for the rest of
from the next 40 years.
Yeah, until we still do.
Yeah.
Still call him Burger King. I hope he's not around.
He'd break our kneecaps.
Break our
I
kneecaps.
could probably use
call
a
him Burger
replacement
King.
right now anyway.
See, what they did in Livonia in the early 70s and that is carried over now is schools, parks all over Livonia. It's a quintessential bedroom community with all the conveniences you want, and Detroit's 20 minutes away if you want to go downtown. You would hear stories about especially the 2000s, I think even the New York Times was one, oh, Livonia's done, Livonia's done. Well, it's not going to happen because the bedrocks, even though things have changed, you have the St. Mary's Mercy Hospital there. You have Madonna University. You have Schoolcraft now, which has 4-year degrees. You have very stable housing property values now. And so people come in. There's things have come and gone, but I think that one of the reasons that 48154, the zip code, which is hot again, like when we first moved here in the 70s, what's old is new, I think it's Bates bringing people.
It's the heart of Livonia.
Bates remains the heart of Livonia. What it will do to your heart is grounds for angioplasty.
It's worth it.
It's worth it, I think.